So everyone start mentioning your quick status updates for the next 5 minutes. Then we'll start completing on the next process. And yes, LMS is working on. There are some issues with that. We are working on it. So don't worry, it will be resolved in some of couple of days. So please mention your progresses in the next 5 minutes. We'll start the next today's meeting and today's new part. Yes. So yes, uh, is my voice is clear and audible for everyone? Is my voice is clear and audible for everyone? Okay. So just give me a minute. I'll share my screen and I'll also give you a link. I'll also give you a today's code lab link to work on that. Just give me a minute. Yes, is my screen is clearly visible? Is my screen is clearly visible for everyone? I guess my voice is audible clearly for everyone, right? Yeah, is my voice is audible and clear for everyone? And I guess my screen is also clearly visible for everyone. Yeah. So see, I have also given you a link of these code labs in the chat. So I also pinned the message in the chat. So please make sure before the this meeting ends, please make sure to copy that and add it to somewhere else in your chats. Is that clear? Yes. Okay. So today, this is the today's new topic we are going to discuss in the today's meet. That is navigation in the jetpack compose. How the navigation is going to be work and what is the major understandings of the navigations. We might all know a simple term what is navigation, but in this today's meet we'll go deeper into those particular area and we'll understand more concepts and more learning things on that particular phase. So yes, you could have see in this link, you could have come across with they have given the five different things. One with the YouTube video, you could have watched it up on your own, and they have given the three. They have given the three code labs. One with how to navigate between the screens with Compose, and how to and the next code lab testing the cupcake app, and they have given the practice to hide the navigation and all. So they have given you these code labs. We'll look into the code labs and so yes, we'll first start with the first code lab, that is navigate between screens with Compose. So yeah, so before going to it, let me ask you let me ask you something simple. So when you open your Instagram, so how do you go from home or like profile, like, and also when you use WhatsApp, how do you go from chats to contact to chat screen, and when you shop on Amazon, how do you go from product to checkout? Yes. So basically, this movement between the screens is called navigation. So I guess everyone got an idea. I'm repeating once again. We'll as let's assume some of the concepts, like as I said you right now. Uh, like if we are in Instagram, when we open an Instagram, how we can go from home to the profile page, and when we are using the WhatsApp, how we can go from chats to contacts to chat screen again, and like exactly, and moving with the Amazon also, how we can navigate from one screen, that is product screen, to the checkout like ordered screens and all. So yes, this is that moving part, like one from going to the one screen to another screen on every particular different apps and all. So this is basically the movement of this is basically between the screens is called navigation. So now imagine if an app had only one screen, Would you use it? No, absolutely not. Because so the navigation is what happens is it it makes the app feel like a real app. So this is what the navigation does. So this is what the role of the navigation over here. So today we are going to learn how screens talk to each other, like how it will navigate to each other and how users move between screens, and also how to control the flow in Compose. So we're gonna look into all those particular areas, particular things in the today's meeting, in the today's code lab. They have given some of the instructions over here to do it, and they have given a starter code. Yes. So basically, now you are going in this code lab. You are going to build a cupcake app. Yes, you are going to build a cupcake app where the download starter code where they have given the second part where this app has already that the code which in the code they have already did the UI screens basic structure, but it does not have navigation yet. So currently screens exist but they are not connected, the what they are looking in the set a code app. So, like think of it like room in a house, but room exists, but there are no doors of it. Our job to add the doors between the rooms. So the basically our job is to add the navigation, add the screens, or add the navigation to it. So this is what example what I'm exactly giving for you. For as I said, we have a house, we have also existing with the rooms, but it doesn't have a doors. Our job is to add the doors. Meanwhile, adding the screens for the navigation part. So, so yes. So this is an app walkthrough. You could have see the start order screen. I guess you could have do this part easily because these particular mini screens, adding the images and adding the fields with the different fields of colors and all, you could have done easily. So make sure go with the exact flow correctly. So see, this is what in this today is like cupcake app what they have built and what they have asked you to build. So it's a very interesting factor where you could have see the things are quite different from other code labs. You see, in the first screen, what you are looking, they have mentioned on a screen with the ordering cupcakes with some of three different options with 1, 6, and 12 cupcakes. They have mentioned some three different particular fields with different options where you could have also they have given one of the different screen with the choosing the flavor with the different flavors and all, and subtotal of it. So yes, and also they have given the pickup date and all, and finally the order summary. And this, yes. So when you look into the reference images, when you look into the images, for example images what they have given in the code labs, they have added many different screens, and they have also given the preview part over here. As you can see, yeah, different they have given some two different, one with the emulator part and one with the preview part, how the different fields gonna look like. And you're gonna see the that is there are different many screens, the one with the order summary screen, another moves with the choosing a pickup date screen, and coming up with next choosing flavor screen, and main splash screen. So you're gonna look these many screens. So building these many screens because just to navigate from one part to the another part. So basically in this major concept we have to understand the things is all about the navigation things. So yes, as you know how the flow of the app, let's understand how the flow gonna work over here. See, you just think of in this such a way like, now let's consider or let's assume an Instagram and all. So when it comes to the Instagram, as you can see, when we open the Instagram, we could have see the first home page screen with like they have been given a stories to watch over a stories at the top, and when we scroll down we could have see some of the posts with some of the reels and all. But at the bottom of the things, they have added a different features, one is the home buttons and search button, and moving to the next reels button and the profile button. They have mentioned the such many different things over here, where you could have see when you click on those many features, it will open the different screen. For example, if we are in the home page, next we tap on the search button, then it moves to the search page. In the search screen, and it click on the reels button, then it will move to the reels screen. Yeah, this is the screens how it's gonna look like. So yes, how, if we're gonna ask the questions of ourselves, like how should users move. For example, as when we consider it as a game, when we took an example of any game, how the user could move over there is, first we will start and then going with the game part, and then we'll finally look into the result over here. So yes, and maybe it will be like result, and after result again the restart. I am giving an example of any particular game. If it will start and the game will begin, and after the game has been ended, we could have come up with the results, and again it will restart to begin from the first. So this is how we could see the different many screens when we are building through it. So, as I said, you building these many screens is very essential for the navigation flow, to build a navigation part. So yeah, like basically the navigation defines where user can go and how they move. So this is what the navigation defines. So next, moving to the next part, that is defining the routes and creating a nav host control. See, this is a very important concept we could have listened. So now it comes to the core concept, where to move between screens, we use navigation components in the Jetpack Compose. So, like what is routes? It is a name or path for a screen. For example, start, game, result. Yeah, you could have take these things as a read. Each screen has a unique route, where different screen will consider us with the different roads. Not every screens will have the same road. As you can see, they have took the cupcake as an example, the roads with the different example, but it is start a different screen, flavor are different, pickup are different, summary are different. So basically, they have also mentioned some of the major points over here. Start to select the quantity of the cupcakes from one of the three buttons, and next moving to the flavor to select the flavor from a list of choices, and pick up dates from a list of choices. At last, the summary to review all the selections and either send or the cancel the order. So this is what the screen's gonna look like, and what each screen defines their work. So this is what they have given over here. So basically, the route is all about each screen has a different, or each screen has a unique route. So now think of routes like a Google map. Let's assume that routes is like a Google Maps. Each location has a name. For example, where each location has a name, when you navigate using that name. So this is what routes look like. So understanding these such a way, where routes is just like a Google Maps. So you will just navigate using the name of that particular part. For example, as the Google Map, what I'm saying, will search, or will look into those particular place by using the name of it. By using that particular name or particular place, we're gonna search. So this is what it will gonna look like, where each location will has a different names, where we'll navigate using that particular name. And when it comes to the navigation control, where we could have call it as a nav control. So we use something called nav control to controls the navigation. The name itself says The nav control is all about the controlling the navigation. Uh, For the simple explanation, I'll gonna say that the navigation control is like a driver. It's like a driver where you tell it where to go and it takes you there. So this is what navigation controls do. It's like a driver will just tell where to go and the driver takes up to that part. So this is what the navigation controls do. We'll just see where to go, we'll just ask where to go, and it will automatically take, yes, it will automatically take to that particular screen. So this is the navigation, or a nav controller does like this. And coming to the nav host, so nav host, it's a container that shows the current screen. So this is what the host is. It shows the current screen. Like for example, what you are looking on the screen, it shows the screen what we are into, what we are in particular part. Yes. See, like nav host shows, but nav controls decides. So this is the difference between the nav host and the nav controllers, where, as I said, nav host just shows the part, and like it just shows the particular screen what we are in that part. But the nav controller decides what it's going to be done. So it is the things of this is the things it gonna look like of the between the nav host and the nav controller. As I said, the nav host shows where the nav controllers decides. Coming to the next part, that is navigation between, or navigate between the roads. Now let's actually move between screens. When user clicks a button, we'll call a nav control, or a nav control dot navigate. Yes. So this is what, when the user clicks a button, let's assume clicking a button, as you can see, they have given a code over here for the button option on next button clicked. So this is what I'm explaining, modifying on the next button click. Yes. So yeah, this is what I'm explaining for you. When the user clicks a button, then it will call a nav controller dot navigate for the navigation purpose. So this is what the navigation will gonna look like. Yes, you can see they have given some of the codes for the some of the modifying, some of the codes for the some of the modifying part, what is as for. Yeah, how the flows gonna work over here is, when a user clicks, the navigation's triggered, and a new screen's open. So this is how the flows of it goes. So think like opening a door. When you click a button, it will open the door and it will enter tech next room. So this is what the flow is gonna look like. So next part, that is understanding what is backstack. Backstack means it is a history of the screens. That means the previous of the screens. So when a user press backs, they go to the previous screen. So this is called the backstack. From, for example, uh, if now we are after opening an Instagram, if at starting itself we'll navigate to the home screen. Then if we want to move to the reels page screen, then we click on the reels button, then it will move to the reels page screen. So when what is backstack is, then again moving to the same screen what we have first gone through, that is home page screen. So this is called backstack. When the user presses back, they go to the previous screen. So this is what the backstack called. So navigation is not just moving forward. It's all about the managing history. It's all about, like managing history. Yes. Now we have understood some of the major concepts over here. Yes. So basically, in this particular part, you have to take the words that is what is the backstack and how the navigation goes between the roads. So you have to understand these many concepts, these many things in the particular areas. And also, like as I said, you when the user clicks a button, it calls a nav controller dot navigate, where, for example, let let analyze, let break down those things so you will understand very easily. See, for example, step one, the user clicks. It is a step one. Step two, navigate function gonna call. Step three, the route will match. Step four, the new screen will display. So this is what step by step moving will look over there. So this is what step by step things will gonna work. So, and also, like stack back is also it's to push and pop for the previous and what the back thing's gonna look like. So next part, that is navigating to another app. Now let's think more bigger compared to the previous context. So yeah, we could have asked questions to ourselves. Can we go outside our app? Yes, we can. Like for example, when we click on the button, it opens the browsers, and again, if I click it, it opens dialer. Again, if we click it, it opens the WhatsApp. For example, this is called an external navigation. It is outside of the app, which is called as external navigations. So inside apps is all about the rooms. For outside apps, it's all about another building. So this is what this is what way you have to understand over here. So app doesn't work alone. They interact with other apps. So just give me a minute, guys. Yes. Moving to the next part, that is what the app bar responds to the navigation. You see, they have given the note of how the system back button is provided by the Android operating systems, and it is locally at the bottom of the screen, and also the app bottom on this another and is located in your app as a top bar with a arrow mark where you could go back, which is also called as a back stack, to go with the previous work, to go with the previous screen of it. So see, like when we enhance user experience, the app bar shouldn't adapt based on the current screen. For example, if you are on the start screen, know if there is no back button. On the game screen, shows back button, and on result screen shows the restart option. So this is what the app bar should be adapted based on the current screen. The back things what you are looking on the screen to come back or to go back with the previous screen, so it should be adapted for the based on the current screen. See, for start screen there should be a no back, because if you click on the back it will directly go again back to the go back directly, there will no another different screen. So for the start screen there will be a no back button. For the on the game screen it will shows the back button to go for the different levels, again come back from the game, again come back to the levels and all to see the different stages of it. And with the result screen it shows with the restart option and all. So why this is important? Because navigation is not only about the movement, it's all about guiding the user. And also a responsive app bar which improves the usability and provides content, and which helps the users understand where they are. So this is in the first code lab. What you looked into is all they have given about the how the different things is going to work. They have given the solution code where which combines all the concepts of defining roads, navigation, action implemented, how and backstack handled, and how UI reacting to the navigation changes and all. So this results in a complete navigation system. So it is an important to keep this navigation code which is organized, reliable, and scalable for the larger applications. So let's summarize the key concepts what we have gone through in this particular code lab. So we have covered how covered navigation, how navigation enables movement between screens, and how routes identify each screens, and what is how nav control manages the navigation flow, and how nav hosts display the current screen, and also at last backstack maintains the navigation history. So we have covered all these major key concepts in the first code lab. So the final part we have to understand is how well-designed navigation systems will consider some of the things like improves the user experiences, and which makes an app initiative, and also innovative, and also like it helps to ensure the smooth interaction flow. So yeah, an application is it's not just to define by how many screens it has, like, but how effective those screens are connected. So this is what all about the navigations between the screen in Compose. So the first code lab, you have to understand the major things, what is navigation and what are all the backstack and all. So moving to the next code lab, that is test the Cupcake app. So this is in this code lab, we'll look into the some of the things, some of they have given the different things what you are some of the different things what you are looking over there in the left panel. They have given some of the different concepts they have covered in the testing the cupcake app and all. Yeah, as you can see, they have given the starter code and also how to set up a cupcake for the UI tests and how to set up the nav host and how to write the navigation test, how to write the navigation test, and also how to write a test for the order screen and glass solution code and summary and all. We'll look into those particular concepts. So, so let's start with a simple question, that is, how we ever used an app that crashes suddenly. So we have uh, used some of us have actually used an app. We have see some of the apps which crashes suddenly and which shows the wrong data or buttons don't work properly. Yeah. So see, these things what I have said you right now, these things happens when app are not properly tested, when there is no proper test in the app. So these kind of things happen in the app, which it may crashes suddenly and it will show the wrong data, and some of the times the buttons won't work properly. So this is what without testing app look likes. So testing is not an option, it is an essential. So, like why testing is matter? Because testing matters a lot because it ensures app work correctly and it prevents the bugs, and it also improves the user experiences, and basically it saves the time in the long run. So in the today in this code lab we're gonna look like we'll understand some of the concepts like about the UI testing and setting up testing for our apps and testing navigations and test specific screens. By the end, you'll know how to verify your app instead of just assuming it works. They have given the starter code with the which contains already a UI screens, navigation, setup, basic logic, but it does not include testing. So your task here is to add testing to verify everything works correctly. And also remember one more thing, just writing a code, it's just a half job where testing ensures the other half. So you have to, it's like a 50-50. Coding is a half 50 part and testing is another 50 part. So have to work on both the things. So yes, so we'll move on to the setup cupcakes for UI test. So they have given the proper instructions line by line with the correct sequence number and all. So go it properly, watch it properly with all the code, with all the requirements, and also make sure that to take the help of the images of the screens, so you will work easily, so you could get the answers, you could have get the things very easily. So in the Jetpack Compose, we use the Compose for testing APIs. So like what is UI testing? Basically, UI testing means testing what the user sees and interact with the things like button clicking, text displaying, and screen navigations. So a minimum key idea for it, we are not testing an internal code, we are testing for the user experience. See, add testing dependencies and use testing framework and launching composable in test. So this is all about the setting up part over here. For example, we simulate user actions like clicking button, entering text, and then verify did the UI respond correctly. For example, see if we are building any screen, or yeah, if you're building any screen, in that screen, if you're adding any buttons over there, or if you're adding any text field over there, adding a text after clicking an button, the thing we have to do is we have to understand, did the UI respond correctly? So if a user can do it, a test should also verify it. So this is what you have to set up. You have to do a UI test properly, you understanding the things and creating a right part. Now setting up the nav host. Now we are moving to the navigation testing. So here, to test navigation, we need to set up a test navigation environment. So why nav host is important means because so nav host controls which screen is to be shown, and so in testing we must simulate the navigation. So nav host is very important. For example, when you click a button, as we saw in, as we see, well, let's take an example of the cupcake itself. When we click on the like for example, we have built a button called selecting a flavors. When we clicked on that selecting a flavors button, it should show the proper screen, that is the flavor screen, to select the multiple flavors what we have looked into. So this is what the host control does, which shows the which screen is to be shown. It will perform in such a way that it will helps to see which screen has to be shown over there. So what we do is creating a test nav controller and also attach it to the nav host and simulates navigation flow. So we are creating a fake environment where we can test the navigation safely. So we are not testing any things manually. We are automating user behavior over here. See, they have given the instructions clearly with the correct instructions and with the correct number. So make sure to follow the instructions properly. Don't miss out of the any one of the instructions, or you may lose uh, some of the steps in middle. So go up and follow with the correct instructions over here. So now write navigation tests. So here also they have been given how to make sure. See, they have given some of the examples and some of the things where, so this is what your app should gonna look like. Verify that the start screen doesn't have an up button, where it originally designed of the cupcake app does not have an up button in the toolbar of the start screen. So make sure to go and follow with the correct instructions and work it on properly. So now comes the most important part, that is test navigations. So what do we test? Basically, we check, does clicking button move to correct screen? We have to check all these things while testing. Does clicking, when we click on the button, does it move to the correct screen? And does it work? Does the navigation works correctly? Does the back navigation works, and is the correct UI displayed? You have to check these many things when you are testing. If, for example, if a user clicks the next button, expected to open the next screen, test will verify the navigation actually happens. So how test works, we means find UI element and performs action and check the result. So test behaves like a user. It clicks, it observes, and it verifies. That's it. So a test is nothing but a robot user checking your app. That's it. So this is all about the test. Writing a test navigations, or navigate testing navigations over here. So yeah, they have given the writing the tests for order screen. Now writing test for a specific screen. Now we are testing for the specific screen over here, or the ordered screen. So in this part, you have to verify is the correct data are showing, or is a price displayed correctly, and is buttons working correctly. You have to check whether the data is showing correctly and the text is showing, or the buttons are working properly. You have to test these many things in particular this area. If user selects quantity, does total price updates. Important things is this ensures the business logic is correct, where UI reflects the correct data. So the ideas of it is testing is not just checking the UI, it is validating logic through the UI. And also, yes. So in this part, basically, they have given the solution code. You could have take over this. So let's summarize quickly everything what we have discussed. So in this particular part, you have to majorly concentrate on test how testing ensures the app reliability, and how UI testing checks for the correct user interaction, and how navigation testing verifies screens, transactions, and also transitions, and also how screens testing ensures correct data displayed. You have to check. We have covered up all these concepts in this part, so make sure to verify all those things of the code lab testing the cupcake. So yes, a well-tested app is stable, is and also it's reliable, and also it provides a better user experience. So two this is the code labs, all about one with the how the navigation works, and how the testing has to be done for the one particular part, and for all the different screens and all. So here they have given some practice of adding the navigations and all. So make sure to build a simple app, and to how the navigations. So the task for you everyone today is finish all these code labs. Make sure to build a cupcake app, and make sure to test the cupcake app whether it's going to the exact screen, whether it's showing the proper UI, and whether it's showing the proper data without any disturbances and all, and how the flow of the app work. You concentrate on this particular area, and also if you want, you could have also practice to add the navigation. So you could have built most of the screens on yourself, so just to see how the navigation works. So for today task for everyone, you to complete these three code labs: one with navigating between screens with Compose, and second one test the cupcake app, and third one with the practice and add navigation. So basically 2 3 4. So I have to complete these three code labs, and we'll move with the fresh start with the tomorrow's part. So in the real world development, before concluding it, I want to say one more thing, that is, in the real world development, using or writing a code is just only the beginning, where the real things or real confidence will come when your app is tested and verified. So because user don't care how your code is written, so they care whether if it works in a proper part and all. So this is what you're gonna think, and this is got you have to work like this. So a good app works is a great app is tested. Yes. So this is all about the today's part we have looked into. So complete those code labs. So this will be today's task for everyone. Is that clear? Yes. So thank you one and all. I hope it was a good meeting. We'll catch up in the today's evening. Those who are having the doubts in the doubt solving sessions at 4:30 p.m. So thank you one and all. Have a great day. Don't forget to complete the code labs and all. Thank you guys.